Republicans in both Florida and Georgia under attack from the left based on lies. In Florida, a hit piece by 60 Minutes, once the standard for investigative journalism, the CBS News magazine airing a sloppy report that hides facts in an attempt to damage Ron DeSantis, the Republican governor who has been wildly successful in handling COVID, a fact that enrages the lockdown left more every single day. We're going to unpack that here in just a little bit. But we're going to begin in Georgia, where more woke companies are humiliating themselves, pandering to the small subsection of society that is the far left woke mob. All of this because Georgia is fighting electioneering, regulating the new idea of ballot drop boxes, and asking absentee voters to show some ID. United Airlines now joining Delta and Coke in condemning this law. You can tell United, though, is scared of backlash on both sides. The company releasing a very feckless statement that reads in part, legislation that infringes on the right to vote of fellow Americans is wrong. The PR department was probably trembling as they wrote this. You know they were. Meanwhile, Atlanta and the Braves, dealing with the fallout after Commissioner Rob Manfred decided to pull the All-Star game. That move estimated to cost Atlanta around $100 million. The commissioner didn't say what exactly he opposed in the Georgia bill. He probably doesn't even know. He just wrote, Major League Baseball fundamentally supports voting rights for all Americans and opposes restrictions to the ballot box. Okay, great. Georgia Governor Brian Kemp, who we spoke to last week, held a press conference to condemn that move.
They're coming for your game or event in your hometown, and they're coming to cancel everything from sports to how you make a living. And they will stop at nothing to silence all of us. And they certainly don't care about access to the ballot box. Because if they did, Major League Baseball would have announced that they were moving their headquarters from New York yesterday.
You see what he did there? The governor mentioning New York because, listen to this, under the new Georgia law, there are actually more early voting days available in Georgia than in New York. In fact, Georgia has more voting access than many other blue states with this new law. Something former New Jersey Governor Chris Christie mentioned on the Sunday shows. Take a listen.
Stacey Abrams was in New Jersey, in my state, praising Phil Murphy this week for a voting law where New Jersey early voting is 9 days. Half of what Georgia is. Yet she's on TV in New Jersey, I saw it myself, saying that this is one of the greatest voting expansion bills we've ever seen. But this is Jim Crow? I'm sorry, George. It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, Stephanopoulos trying to get out of that one. Hilarious to watch, isn't it? Just how ridiculous this all is. Woke sports are nothing new, of course. It's been 5 years since Colin Kaepernick first kneeled for our national anthem. What's amazing is watching Major League Baseball pander to the woke mob. Do these guys have any clue who their fan base is? World Series champ Aubrey Huff, one of the best to ever play, said it best. Liberal beta males only watch The View and Dancing with the Stars, down there at the bottom of the tweet. It's obviously a joke. It's obviously a really good joke. It's also extremely true. Look at who they're pandering to. The NFL took a major hit when it brought politics into sports. We remember that. It'll be interesting to see how this impacts baseball, which has an older and even more conservative crowd than the NFL. And all over voter ID, which, by the way, is supported by a vast majority of Americans. The other points they tried to make about Georgia's law were all literally nonsense, lies. If MLB is smart, heads are going to roll in the front office over this. We'll see if it happens. Texas Governor Greg Abbott tweeted out today, I was looking forward to throwing out the first pitch at the Texas Rangers home opening game until Major League Baseball adopted what has turned out to be a false narrative about Georgia's election law reforms. It is shameful that America's pastime is being influenced by partisan politics. Meanwhile, Florida Senator Marco Rubio blasting Commissioner Rob Manfred. This is a good one. I am under no illusion you intend to resign as a member from Augusta National Golf Club. To do so would require a personal sacrifice, as opposed to the woke corporate virtue signaling of moving the All-Star game from Atlanta. Rubio with a really good one there. How much you want to bet this guy ain't going to leave Augusta? There's no way. Go woke, become a joke. Manfred feeling that. A lot of Major League Baseball feeling that. Former President Trump encouraging his supporters to not give in to the mob. He wrote this: "It is finally time for Republicans and conservatives to fight back. We have more people than they do by far. Boycott Major League Baseball, Coca-Cola, Delta Airlines, JP Morgan Chase, Viacom CBS, Citigroup, Cisco, UPS, and Merck. Don't go back to their products until they relent. We can play a better game than them." Interestingly enough, despite even President Biden jumping in on this wackiness and pushing this last week, which was ridiculous, Democrats are actually realizing the effects of this, the real effects of this. Here's Stacey Abrams last week begging companies not to boycott Georgia.
I understand the passion of those calling for boycotts of Georgia following the passage of SB 202. Boycotts have been an important tool throughout our history to achieve social change. But here's the thing. Black, Latino, AAPI, and Native American voters whose votes are the most suppressed under SB 202 are also the most likely to be hurt by potential boycotts of Georgia.
Abrams realizes, of course, the real cost of this political play. Jen Psaki, though, today tried to just marginalize what her boss said. Take a look.
So he was not dictating for what Major League Baseball should do, that they should, dictating they should move the All-Star game. That was their decision. We've not asked corporations to take specific actions. That's not our focus here.
All a lie. Biden cheered this on and basically demanded that Major League Baseball do this, in a way, by putting his full support behind it. What choice did they have? They want to win elections. They'll lie all day to get it done. And the breaking news tonight is Major League Baseball announcing they're moving that game. They took it out of Atlanta. It's going to Denver. So we here at Newsmax are going to start looking real close at everything Denver does, voting laws and all that stuff. We'll keep you posted. Now let's head south to Florida. As of today, Floridians 16 and older eligible to get a vaccine, 1 month ahead of Biden's timetable. 70% of the roughly 4.4 million seniors in Florida are now vaccinated. They're doing great. DeSantis doing far better than the liberal governors of New York and California. So, of course, the media is dying to find something to destroy Ron DeSantis. CBS's 60 Minutes, a highly respected program in its time, is now no better than CNN, it would seem, after what we saw last night. One of their newest correspondents, Sharon Alfonsi, delivering a hit piece on DeSantis. It hinged on a fact that they knew was a lie. And then they just didn't show you the whole story, and they accused the governor of pay to play. Florida used the extremely popular grocery chain Publix to help distribute COVID-19 vaccines. You ever been to Florida? You've been to a Publix. Well, it turns out Publix gave $100,000 to Governor DeSantis' reelection efforts last year, which CBS claimed represented a quid pro quo. They didn't have any evidence. They just said, oh, look, it's here and it's here, so it must be something, right? Many are now calling out CBS for deceptive editing for this exchange, though, between Ron DeSantis and the CBS reporter Sharon Alfonsi. Pay close attention.
Publix, as you know, donated $100,000 to your campaign, and then you rewarded them with the exclusive rights to distribute the vaccination in Palm Beach.
So first of all, what you're saying is wrong.
How is that not pay to play?
That's a fake narrative. I met with the county mayor. I met with the administrator. I met with all the folks at Palm Beach County, and I said, here's some of the options. We can do more drive-through sites. We can give more to hospitals. We can do the Publix. And they said, we think that would be the easiest thing for our residents.
Okay, so that's what they put on 60 Minutes. What they didn't show viewers is the part where DeSantis effectively debunks the entire story with a very clear answer. Watch this.
The first pharmacies that had it were CVS and Walgreens, and they had a long-term care mission. So we reached out to other retail pharmacies, Publix, Walmart. Obviously, CVS and Walgreens had to finish that mission. And we said, we're gonna use you as soon as you're done with that. For the Publix, they were the first one to raise their hand, say they were ready to go. I met with the county mayor, I met with the administrator, I met with all the folks at Palm Beach County, and I said, here's some of the options. We can do more drive-through sites. We can give more to hospitals. We can do the Publix. We can do this. They calculated that 90% of their seniors live within 1.5 miles of a Publix. And they said, we think that would be the easiest thing for our residents.
They didn't put that in. CBS 60 Minutes, they run like 18-minute stories. That took 40 seconds to tell the truth. They don't want that in there because then the story's dead, right? So to recap what we just heard, Publix was not the first pharmacy to get the vaccine. It's a grocery pharmacy. Walgreens and CVS were. Publix just happens to be the biggest grocery chain in the state, with over 800 stores. Publix is the grocery store in South Florida. Everybody goes to Publix. I lived there for 3 years. It's a Publix state. That's where you go. It's a great brand to have behind this, and everybody knew it. Publix also, by the way, donated hundreds of thousands of dollars to Democrats as well. CBS, 60 Minutes, left all of that out. It's a joke. It is an absolute joke. They also left this out from Palm Beach County Mayor Dave Kerner, who is a Democrat. The reporting was not just based on bad information, it was intentionally false. I know this because I offered to provide my insight into Palm Beach County's vaccination efforts, and 60 Minutes declined. We asked to expand the state's partnership with Publix to Palm Beach County. They had that information and they left it out because it kneecaps their narrative. That's a Democrat. Publix has also gone on record the irresponsible suggestion that there was a connection between campaign contributions made to Governor DeSantis and our willingness to join other pharmacies in support of the state's vaccine distribution efforts is absolutely false and offensive. 60 Minutes ain't what it used to be, it would appear.
Hey, I'm Rob Finnerty. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please join the conversation in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe, too. Hit the bell icon to be alerted to breaking news. And remember, there's a whole lot more on Newsmax TV, America's fastest growing cable news network. Newsmax TV, we're real news for real people.